You know, Ontario's pretty underrated, guys. you guys got to make it over there.
Missed out.
For real.
It's true.
You guys looking to adopt? Because I'm ready. We're ready to go.
What's that movie? Is it a hit? Don't ask her like she'll say, I haven't seen it.
Welcome to the Haven't Seen It podcast. It's a podcast where we bring people on the show and we get them really drunk and they tell me about a movie that I've never seen before. I'm like Zach.
And I'm Will.
Yeah, boy. Sure.
Yeah.
Do we let the guest? Should we? Do we?
Honestly, we're going like cross-border for the first time.
Hell
so
yes.
she can just introduce herself. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm Diana Bidèa. Please adopt me into Canada, please, for the love of God.
Yes, you guys.
Please, for the love of God.
For the first time in Haven't Seen It history, we've got an American on the show, baby. We have singer-songwriter Diana Bidèa. Is that how you say it now?
Yeah,
Bidèa. Okay, great. Because every time I see it, I think bidet, and I know it's wrong. I'm sorry.
It's totally fine. I figured no matter what, like, I made my stage name, my family was going to find a way to make fun of it. And I was like, if it has bidet in it, at least it's a really fancy way of making fun of me. It's like giving them the joke. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
You could make fun of me, but you're making fun of me about something expensive. You know,
so fuck you.
So point proven.
Yes, you guys. Guys, I almost want to do a guess because Diana's going to have her lovely accent. I want you guys to guess in the comments exactly where she's from, even though we're going to tell you later or we're going to have it in the description. I kind of don't care. I want you guys to guess where she's originates from.
Yes.
Currently resides in New York City, baby.
Yeah.
But in the comments, we want you guys to guess. And today...
Right now, as you're listening, please.
Yeah, as you're listening, if you could.
I haven't even fully brought it out yet, but I'm excited. I can never tell when I bring it out or when I don't bring it out. But apparently people...
It will come with the more drinks that you get, which we'll get into that in a moment.
I have everything accessible to me here. I'm just going to keep going.
Oh, I'm excited. It's going to be a good night.
Oh, yes.
And I'm super excited to have Diana on. Will's super excited. And I'm excited to talk about this movie we're talking about because I actually, I didn't know what the fuck, I didn't know it existed. Because I asked Diana, I was like, oh, what movie do you want to talk about? And she just said the name of it. And I was like, if you say so. I don't think I even responded to the text because I was like, she's fucking lying. It's not a movie.
Now, do you know that this is the winner of Best Picture at the Oscars 2020?
Shut the fuck up. Is it a new movie?
Yeah.
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah. So we can't fault you too much for not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
But it did win
know.
Best Picture
great.
At the Oscars 2020.
Okay. What are we talking about, Diana?
Oh, we're gonna start with the movie now.
Just the title. Just the title.
Oh, the title. Okay. The movie is called Parasite.
Yeah.
Yes. So the movie's called Parasite. Do I stop there? Do I keep going? What are we?
I want to stop. I don't want to give details on like who directed it.
Right.
You really want to set me up, eh, Will?
Yeah, I want to hear Alenka tell us what she thinks this movie is about before we know any details about who made this movie or where this movie's from.
She's going to be like, Bug's Life. It's like Bug's Life.
I hadn't thought that, but I wish I had because that's great. So, okay.
Let's start with Alenka telling us what the movie's about, please.
Okay, so you guys, I thought this was old-ass movie because I'd never heard of it. And originally I was thinking like Parasite, okay, like Alien, like the movie Alien that I've not seen either, but some sort of infestation. And then we were on the RIP podcast last week, or maybe 2 weeks from now when this episode airs. And Will had slipped it into conversation, the movie title, and something about a little boy at the end of the bed and hiding in the house. So my brain was like, all right, it's like Castaway. We've got a family like on a ship, casting away in someone's house, living off of them like a parasite would, unbeknownst to the host of the house. Not a bad deduction, Alenka. And then Will's drink seems super freaking Japanese. And I'm just guessing it's a Japanese family in refuge. And I didn't know. So I don't know why, but ramen seemed really funny to me. So I was like, oh, this is going to be a comedy. But it also seems like it's going to be a horror. And then here's what I say. It's going to be this Japanese family's living underground in this house. And they start taking over this regular family's life. And then they kill them. And they live their lives happily ever after. Amen.
That's your deduction?
That's what I'm deducing. Yeah.
You better start getting more things wrong, or people are gonna think you actually watched.
Are you serious?
Movies.
Yeah, dude, that was pretty fucking. Honestly, you're on the right path with that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just a keen observer, you know.
Yeah,
So,
dude, that was pretty insane. That was that's pretty insane.
I'm excited.
We'll tell you one thing you did get wrong. They're
No
a Korean
killing.
family.
Shit. Ramen's Korean?
Well,
there's like many different types of noodles
Asian,
throughout
so-
the Asian the continent.
They can't do that to me. I need one genre of noodle.
There's just so many. They're so good. All of them are so good.
Shit. Did I really get that all right? Fuck off. I'm excited.
You got a good.
You got the
good
gist.
thematics going on. Yeah.
Nice. So that's the simple plot point of this movie, is that K-pop stars come to invade your everyday American household.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To get to America. I don't know.
Honestly, K-pop has had a very positive influence on a lot of people's lives here.
K-pop's great. Their music videos are just something else.
Yeah, they have no business being that addicting to watch and that good.
I know. It's insane.
Yeah. My Instagram
Fantastic.
Explorer page, all K-pop. I'm like, wow.
I love it.
It's true.
That's fine.
Well,
And then
after hearing that like amazing synopsis,
I'm
like
so
seriously,
pleased.
I'm kind of super surprised how close it is.
really?
Yeah.
I'm good.
I want to know, Diana, why you picked this movie. You did tell us earlier that it is a recent discovery for yourself.
Yeah.
I picked this movie because, out of the list you guys gave me, there were so many good movies on there, but I wanted to pick one that I wouldn't usually pick. And there were so many on there that I was stuck between, but I was like, you know what? I just saw this movie. I thought it was so different and so fantastic. And this one would be really good because I think Alenka would really have a good time learning about it and figuring it out, just because it's a movie that does have so many twists and turns.
That's so nice. Thank you.
Thinking of you, boo. Okay. But it's a really, the movie touches on a lot, like symbolically, and also like just getting deep into my life a little bit. Like people in your life that are toxic are very much like parasites as well.
Yeah.
I might have been channeling some, art imitates life, life imitate art type of situation. So I was like, okay, we can mold this together. That's why.
I love it. I can't wait to get into more of that with you, Diana, about all the toxic relationships in your
there's
life.
tea. There's tea and it's piping.
This is good. So who the fuck directed this shit, huh?
The director is I'm okay. Fair warning, I'm probably going to mess up a lot of these names. Like I was trying to find some like pronunciation guides, but it's
sure.
Like Joon-ho, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Okay.
He's a very prolific Korean director. He's fairly young as well. Bong Joon-ho, that's his name. He's directed what is that movie? I'm blanking on right now. the train one. Oh, Snowpiercer with Chris Evans.
Oh,
That's
really? That
Yeah.
movie pissed me off. I've seen that movie. Surprise,
Oh, wow.
surprise, motherfucker. And that movie pissed me off so much.
Oh, it's
because-
fantastic.
No, I know that's why it made me so. That's a movie that you like, right? When a movie evokes such rage in you because it's so relatable to fucking everyday life, it's
Mhm,
like,
yeah.
wow,
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
There's
And
gonna
then
be-
he also wrote and directed Okja, which is another kind of like North America, like something that was bigger in North America
That's
than.
also
than anywhere else.
sad
Why do I
movie.
feel like he won was that his only Oscar? Was the one he just recently won?
Yes, for Parasite, he won Best Director and they won Best Film. It was amazing. I was so happy.
I
when
think
that
I
Honestly,
happened.
started
I don't know
watching
why I
Okja.
thought he already like won one before. I don't know why.
For
I don't know
Okja?
what I'm thinking.
Maybe.
Snowpiercer, never even
No,
seen
I don't
those.
think so.
Oh, I stopped watching Okja. I think I started it, but stopped watching it because I got scared that the big pig was gonna get hurt. And that makes me
I don't even
sad,
know what you're
girl.
talking about. Like,
That's an
It's
episode where
really
I haven't seen the
fantastic.
movie, so we can do that, you know?
Yes, I don't want to watch it though. Again, if I finished it, I don't remember. I can't remember. It's
Oh,
fine.
yeah, you don't rewatch movies at all.
Sometimes Step Brothers. I rewatched Step Brothers, so that's fine. We don't need to talk about that.
Well, we have one more.
oh,
thing
sorry.
to
Did you
talk
hear my
about.
dog?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, we love peppers on this.
Yeah,
on this
he
program.
howls. He does not like intruders.
What a brat.
I know.
Protected.
He's like, this is my house. I'm like, yeah, you live off of me, bitch. Okay,
Parasite.
you parasite.
I want to start calling people parasites.
Anybody at a grocery store just
You parasite.
bumps into me, you parasite. Just
What an insult, though, eh?
right. It's not only is it an insult, but it is a creative insult, and those burn much deeper.
It's true. It's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah. Well, the thing we got to talk about is this drink that
Your drink, yeah.
we are totally drinking. All of us,
Drinking.
all three of us are drinking.
All three of us.
Yes.
I'm not gonna front. I've drank a healthy amount of this.
It's
Oh yeah.
Diana,
A
how
hefty
did you
amount.
describe this drink? It what?
I don't know. How did I describe
Oh,
it?
you said it slaps, and I really wanted you
It
to say
slaps.
it again.
It slaps. I don't know who gave you guys permission to give me this. But my boyfriend's going to be thanking me later. Okay. I don't know. Are they giving audacity out at the grocery store? Because you have a lot of audacity in order to make this for me. Honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, Will, where did you get this recipe? Because I feel like it did not come out of your brain.
No, I came out of my brain.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Are
So-
you
What the
are you
fuck?
a little mixologist?
He's not.
I
He's
am
not.
becoming one. I am becoming one. I
No.
totally
This
am.
is freaking great.
I
Like,
honestly got one ingredient from something else, from like a drink thing, but everything else I was like, yeah, this works. So
yeah, this is dope.
Talk to me, Will. How did you
Okay.
learn? What was your inspiration?
how did I learn? Well, the inspiration's the movie,
Right,
like
yeah,
almost
no,
every
but
other
I'm-
drink.
Fuck off.
And the name of this drink is called Peach Fuzz.
Ooh.
And you will find out why later on in the movie.
Okay.
And it's not sexual, even though that's what
I
you
know.
are
That's what I was
saying.
thinking. Mm.
But you start with soju. Soju, fun fact, is one of Korea's largest alcoholic imports next
Oh
to K-pop.
my god! I thought I was mistaking it for sake like the whole time. That's why I was so thought it was
You
Japanese,
thought it was
but
Japanese,
it's not.
yeah.
No, yeah,
Well,
no, very
soju is
Korean.
a Korean alcohol, and it's
Mhm.
literally the most like drank alcohol in the entire world. Fun fact.
What?
It's the
No.
most what?
Like the
Really?
most, I said most drank, which is not correct, but the most like purchased, the most consumed alcohol in the world. Soju.
Really?
Yeah.
So does that just mean that there's a lot of like Korean people throughout the world?
No, it's just
Do you
it's an
think?
export, and a lot of people drink it. Apparently, I've never had it
never,
before, but it's
like-
fairly good. It's fairly
Interesting.
good.
Wow. That's
so you want to
crazy.
start with soju. You want to add some peach schnapps for that
Yeah, that'd be
peachy
good.
flavor.
Mhm,
Also, peach schnapps. I don't know. Sometimes peach schnapps screams to me like something you
High
might drink
school?
out of a paper bag, like something cheap almost, like
Okay,
to
yeah.
get you drunk
yeah.
real quick, and then you want to throw some prosecco in there, or
Which screams
champagne sparkling
Italian
wine.
and fancy.
Yeah, it
I
screams
get
fanciness.
it.
It
I know
screams
what's going to
fanciness.
happen.
And
Yeah.
then some lemon juice, for just some flavor. That's not thematic. It's just, cocktail
To have in
ingredient.
there. Yeah.
And then garnish with a peach, with a slice of peach, which is nice. And then the bonus for this drink is serve it alongside a nice big bowl of Ramdon, which is a noodle dish with a mixture of ramen and udon noodles mixed together with some chopped sirloin steak and a nice dressing. And it pairs really well with this drink and this movie. And we'll find that out, Alenka.
That sounds so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't wait. I just want to eat that, though, mostly.
We're going to start this. We're going to start this thing. One of my favorite movies of like all time now. Diana, how does this movie start?
Okay. I don't remember the opening moment, but I know it starts on a family in South Korea.
Okay.
Very poor family, very poor. They live in like a little area that's like they live in like how would you describe it?
It's like a South Korean slum kind
Yes.
of. It's very like compact and a lot of like almost like basically like I don't know, like if you go to like Little Korea and like Toronto, but like even more packed and also lots of people living there as well as selling stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and how the level of their house is super symbolic because the level of their house is literally below the street and their window, which is at the top of the wall, faces the ground level of the street. So there's shots of people like being drunk and peeing like right next to their window or right next to the dumpster, next to their like the biggest window in their house, which is literally like parallel to the ground. And people's piss.
And that is the opening shot, is just that window, and then the text gets written on the title of the movie, and it's written on in Korean, and then below it kind of gets written on Parasite.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super dope. A lot of symbolism going on there. And I don't really remember what like the next consecutive scene is.
Yeah, well, I remember, okay, I want to say before I watched this movie, when I was hearing all about it, I was like, is this a movie about the dangers of like social media? I don't know why that's what was in my head. And the opening still made me think that because the opening, we kind of meet I would say he's like the central character. The family's the central character, but the son is the one that is like
100%.
kind of the central. And this is his name is Kiwoo Kim. So it's the Kim family. And we meet him and he's like trying to get signal of Wi-Fi.
How old is he?
Yeah.
And he's running. He's probably
a teenager.
Like 18, 19 though. He's older, like in university or university college age. And he's like trying to search for Wi-Fi signal because they don't have Wi-Fi. They like leech off their upstairs neighbor's Wi-Fi. But they're like going into the bathroom, and then we meet his sister and his mom and his dad, and they're all like trying to get Wi-Fi back, and they go into the bathroom in the top corner of the bathroom, and they're like finally get signal for Wi-Fi.
They're close-knit family too, like close, you know what I mean? Very close-knit, which plays a part like in the rest of the movie of how like open they are with each other.
They're like, it's like a good relationship.
It's more of like, I would say like good,
Like
but
protect
also
the family
like,
type thing.
Yeah. Very protective of like, don't do nothing stupid. Like they're very aware that they're poor.
Yeah.
Very aware that they're poor. So it's I forgot how they make their actual money. I remember a guy comes in a van, right? And they sell something.
Yeah. Well, they the mom mentions like we need WhatsApp because obviously like that WhatsApp is the only way they get communication from like employers or people.
Yeah.
But the one of the opening scenes is all of them folding pizza boxes for like a local pizza company.
Yes, there
and
it is.
they're watching this YouTube video of what looks like probably like a blonde American woman folding them like properly. And we just watch them keep folding pizza boxes. And then, the pizza people come by. It's like this young woman who owns it. And I think it's her brother who's standing by the truck. And she's like, a quarter of these boxes aren't folded properly. And it kind of cuts to the dad, and we're kind of supposed to assume he's the 1/4 of boxes that aren't folded properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this all spoken in Korean with English subs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
There is some English moments. There's some English moments in the movie, but
for cultural
different effects.
reasons. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're introduced that, they are poor and they do anything they can to make money. We're also introduced, though, with this pizza moment that the brother and sister are they're kind of like actors in a way. They're super persuasive, and they're a little bit like con people. They can really sweet talk their way into getting their money back, or getting the full amount of money from the woman, as well as trying to talk themselves into maybe a job. So we kind of get this sense that they know how to con people a little bit.
Right.
And they play off of each other really well, the two of them.
So what are they?
They're like a tag team.
What do they do? Do they get out of this pizza scenario, and that's kind of how we gather this?
So I guess eventually the pizza place stops kind of going to them for business. And that kind of and then there was I don't remember how they
No, it's all good, but basically it's just kind of establishing their character, but they get she's saying that she's not going to pay them the full amount for the pizza boxes, but they sweet talk her into paying her the full amount. But they also know that I guess a guy quit at her company, and they're looking, they should be hiring someone new. So he's trying to be like, well, I'll come for an interview next Friday, sort of thing. That doesn't really go anywhere. But basically, they're all sitting. This is the moment that I really laugh at. They're all sitting at the table for dinner, and the father, whose name is Ki-taek Kim, he is sitting at the table, and he's like, "We're all gathered here to celebrate this bounteous Wi-Fi."
Yes.
That's what he said.
Really?
I remember that. Yeah.
So
and they're eating I don't think it's pork rinds, but they're eating, just chip bags and stuff. They're not really eating a full meal.
Yeah.
So this
but
is
then
comedy. It's comedic.
It's got comedic relief moments.
Yes, I would say when you first start this, you're like, oh, this is a comedy mostly. It's like a dark comedy.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Like a dark comedy, but then the more involved that the plot gets, you start to realize oh, this is more dark than it is comedy,
Okay. Yeah.
And then somehow the son gets wrapped up into an opportunity to be a private tutor for a very, very, very well-off family.
Yeah.
And it's
I can explain how that happens. Basically, we talked about how there's a guy peeing at their window.
It was the wealthy son.
No. But we see the son's friend approach on his motorbike and tell the guy to stop peeing, and they're all impressed with his son's friend, right? This is kind of someone he aspires to be like, and he goes out and just has I think they're drinking soju when they're at at this little convenience store, but they're talking, and he's talking about he's going away to university and he's tutoring this family. He's tutoring this daughter of this family, and this daughter I think is supposed to be maybe 16, 17. He's going to university. He's 18, 19, this guy. And basically he's in love with the daughter. He doesn't want anyone to replace him and oogle over her. So he's okay, you should replace me. You're smart. You're an intelligent guy. And he has self-confidence issues, the son, because he's poor and he never went to university, but he is a very intelligent person. So he's he's tutoring her for these exams, basically these kind of major South Korean exams.
And
so
his
that's how
friend
he gets
is this guy's not a threat because this guy doesn't have confidence to hit on her. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But he's the perfect replacement for him. So he's just meet the family, but you have my you have my recommendation. So yeah, that's literally how it starts. He goes to interview with it's called, and they're the Parks. That's what the rich family's name is, the Park. Yeah.
I always love to compare this family because I don't know what the equivalent is in like Ontario, Toronto, but the only way, like the best way I understood this family was like a young, rich family in New York City that like lives in like that lives in the city, lives in like Williamsburg, lives in like, you know, certain parts of Brooklyn or certain parts of Manhattan where like everything is very high tech, everything is chic, everything is like minimalist, and you know the mom's very involved and everybody's very involved, but they're very like with the times, you know what I mean? Like that's literally what this family is to a T. And it's literally, I don't know what the equivalent is in Toronto or in Canada.
Toronto,
that's how I relate it.
Let's regionalize this. So in Toronto, I'll speak from Toronto. In Toronto, that'll be like a you know, like a Yorkville or like a Bridle Path, a family. No, like a family lives in the Bridle Path. That's where Drake owns a house, sort of like real rich neighborhood. Were to hire a tutor from, I would say like maybe Scarborough area.
You know what's hysterical?
You're really you're putting regions out there right now, Will. If we have anybody listening fucking Scarborough, they're gonna be a little upsetty spaghetti at you.
They know that Scarborough.
But you know what's hysterical? How come every rich neighborhood from like Canada and the US, like and America, they all have the same names. Anything that starts with York, like York, York, you got money. Like any Scarsborough, how many Scarsboroughs? You got mail. Nah, bitch, you got money. But it's so true. It's so true. That's so
like
hysterical.
Kitchener-Waterloo. What would be the equivalent there?
Oh man, I don't know. Like I guess like a Deer Ridge mom. That's what I'm thinking. Waterloo, right? Or that's more Kitchener versus like I don't know Kitchener very well.
Here's like
bad.
What's like a very high end grocery store that you guys have?
You know what? In Guelph, it's Longo's. Longo's is
so like think of like a mom that shops there for like all gluten-free organic. I don't remember if she's gluten-free or organic, but just imagine a mom that takes that type of detail to things for her kids. You know,
perfect.
That's how I remember it. It was like any mom that is here that shops at like Whole Foods.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we have Whole Foods here.
Oh, okay, cool. I see. Adopt me. I don't know. Adopt me.
There's Whole Foods in and around.
Whole Foods or a Whole Foods store? It's different. Whole Foods. Like the store
they have Whole Foods in like Mississauga and somewhere like or outside. There's no Whole Foods in the core of Toronto as far as I know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right.
He goes for the interview. It kind of immediately cuts. He's got a nice little suit jacket on. He goes into this nice friggin' house. It's like,
oh snap.
And that's kind of a big thing. They're like showing the house and he's like amazed by it because it's nowhere near what he's like where he lives and what he's used to. But it's like double floored, but it's like all glass front and like, you know, old wood. And this is kind of later, but basically it was designed by an architect who used to live there. That's why it's such a nice house.
Oh, okay.
So it's like an architect.
Oh, that's where the architect came in. I actually don't know what they do. I was like, they're architects or something, right? I don't know.
They build houses.
She is a housewife. She doesn't have like a job, and he runs like a tech company that mostly deals, I think, with like video games and like virtual reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
He really fits in though. Like he knew exactly how to kind of like suave and finesse the mom, and the mom like immediately trusted him, which was really interesting on the mom's part because she seemed really easily swayed and very easily like trusting. Like she looked like she just needed somebody, which stuck out to me because I was like, is she lonely? Like for the first time watching it, I was like, is she lonely? Does she need somebody? Like I was very interested in where the plot was going on that, but she easily trusted him very early. Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets the house, and he does. Yeah, he sweet talks everyone. He also meets the housekeeper, whose name is Moon Kwang, and
Sick
she
name.
is kind of she's the housekeeper. She takes care of everything, and so we introduce her. We'll go back to her, but we're introduced to her, which is an important character. Just laying that little seed of remember that.
I'm nervous,
and we also kind of get to introduce the whole family, her, and then we don't really get introduced to the father till later, but we get to introduce to the younger son, who is kind of all over the place. One is, very hyperactive kid. They're also introduced this symbolism of he's very obsessed with, in the movie they say the American Indian. So he's got the headdress on, and he has like teepee in his room, and he's firing bow and arrows. And the director really plays with this symbolism of this wealthy family, not like also just being like very culturally appropriative of a culture they had no idea about, and they view this culture as like almost like a fantasy, like they never, like this doesn't exist.
right?
Because that's kind of, I guess, how it works sometimes in like Korea. Because obviously
just
Canada,
so
we have indigenous
disattached
people,
from it.
but in other countries, sometimes, but it's almost like it's pirates or like mummies, like something that's like
so interesting, actually.
And the son does these drawings that concern the mom a lot. And she asked the son about this. I believe that this is how he got his sister involved. So he got this. So she started asking him questions about her son's art. She said, he's really into art. There are some things that are concerning me because he's doing these things that are dark. And this kind of does a bit of foreshadowing, because some of the things he's doing seem like he's seen them before, or he's learned about them before, or something. What is
it? What is he drawing?
I believe he drew something like he draw like a monster?
He's drawn a lot of like weird imagery, a lot of like crazy scribbles.
Yeah. And she's just like, young kids shouldn't be drawing like this, right? And the son basically recommends his sister, but not as his sister. He recommends her as like a student.
Like a friend of his, like his cousin's friend from who took art school in Chicago, and he's basically creating this whole backstory for this made up person who then it ends up being he's recruiting his sister to then now be an art therapy teacher. And prior to this, she photoshops all his university documents because he never went to school, but she photoshops all these documents. So she is actually like kind of an artist and like designer in that way. So that's why we kind of introduced that she's very talented that way. So she, and again, the next scene is pretty much her interview as an art teacher, and she like goes in and she tells the mom like, I don't want parents in the room while I'm teaching. And then this crazy kid, this like hyperactive kid later on, like literally later in the night, is sitting down at the table with the daughter, like perfectly
normal.
Yeah, perfectly normal and like respectful, walks away. So the mom's like amazed.
Yeah.
And immediately hires her. And her fake name is Jessica.
Oh yeah, fake name is Jessica, this is really so interesting to me because there are so many American like references.
Yeah, I think the thing is she's technically, it's like, I think her backstory is like her fake backstory is that she is from Chicago or I don't even.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay.
She is technically like supposed to be American but she is fluent Korean, obviously.
Yeah.
She is Korean.
Right.
But that's kind of one thing that I love about this movie is that these people, because the son is actually a really good tutor and like knows his shit. And the daughter somehow handles this kid very well. So they show them actually being good at their jobs, even though they con their way into them. They are fully capable. It's not like they're faking. They are good. They can totally do these jobs, but
like
they
a fake it till you make it type thing. Not a con.
Right.
Totally,
it's just but it also grants you empathy in that moment because now you're empathetic towards them because you're like, oh, these kids are capable and they're able to do these things. They just got dealt a shitty hand in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you watch them do these things and how they're able to handle these things. And it's really amazing how like there's certain scenes and sequences where they bounce off of each other. And sometimes one of them will say one thing to the mom and then the other one will confirm it to the mom, basically kind of twisting her reality to what they want so that now they're in control.
Scary. So
it's
scary.
really amazing.
Yeah.
But it's such good like scene work. It's really it's dope to watch. It's really
That's
dope.
like
totally.
the scariest thing.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
person
and,
that can manipulate you to do their bidding, that's fucking scary.
Bro.
Real life
I don't know.
monsters.
Almost like a parasite.
Oh, wait. There's one more detail. There's like another detail.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if this comes in after the dad gets introduced.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Never mind.
You go,
I
though. You go.
I feel like
Not
I
the
know
dad
that you know
yet.
what I know.
Well, we get introduced to the dad just after basically the daughter's interview in which she pretty much gets the job.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we get introduced to the dad, and he walks in, and he's got this real like deep voice, which is he almost has a voice that doesn't suit how he looks, but it's
Cool.
He's kind of hot. Like he's kind of hot.
Oh,
he's
a pretty
he's
hot
like
dude.
DILF status.
Pretty
like
hot, dude.
young, hot, runs a business, like
Money,
tech.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd risk it all. I don't know.
I'd
But anyways. So, but there are these, like how when he comes in, the lights in the walkway, there are these stairs. These stairs are kind of a big symbol in the movie. And when he comes into the house, there are this stairs that leads up to the main level of the open floor plan of the house. Because it's very much an architect's house. It's very minimalist. You can see everything on the open floor plan on the first floor.
Cool.
So going up these steps, there's a light fixture in the stairway, and they always seem to flicker. And the young son always takes notes of these lights flickering.
Mhm.
The dad always says, "Oh, these need to be fixed. Like I need to." He said that, right? He said these need to be fixed or something like that.
Right.
That's keep that in your mind. That's
Okay.
that means something. That's
I'm
foreshadowing.
so nervous right
But
now.
that's
So thank you for saying that, because that's not what I thought you were talking about. So
Oh,
we
okay,
introduced to the
great.
dad, and he comes in with his driver. He has like a driver, of course, for his Benz. And
Rude.
He and so he's like, well,
the distaste
here,
for the Benz. Did you hear that? He's like with his Benz.
honestly, I could care less about
Will
cars.
drives a bike.
All I know is I want a Kia Soul as my very first car purchase. I love the Kia
Yes.
Soul.
They just seem like
well.
fun-loving cars. Have you
Yeah,
seen
I
those
dri-
commercials?
When I rent a car, I'm like, can you give me that Soul over there? And they're like,
Give me
yeah,
that
sure. So anyway, he's like, okay, well, I don't know the driver's name. He's not like an important
That
character.
important, I guess.
But he's like,
It's important that he has a
take
driver.
Jessica home. Like, yeah. But he's like, take Jessica home. So she like gets in the car and she's being taken home. And he's not like, he's perfectly fine person. He might be a slightly flirtatious.
Okay.
But he
With a
she
16-year-old.
tells him just to drop him off at the station. No, this daughter is probably only supposed to be, it's probably 17, 18, or maybe 18. I don't think she's supposed to be 16. She's also a similar age to the son,
Oh, okay.
I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she's supposed to be passing for someone who has to be like in their mid 20s, I would say. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he kind of goes, oh, it's a dark night, for, a young woman, but she insists to take her to the station, but that plants the seed in her mind. So we see her like slowly like take off her underwear under her dress and then just like drop it down on the floor. And that's it. We see that. And then it cuts to the whole family sitting, eating at this, I think it's supposed to be like a kind of a grab and go type buffet cafeteria thing.
Mhm.
Anyway, and she tells him like she said, she's like, man, the son goes like, you really did a number on that the mom, and she's like, "Oh, I just Googled some things about art therapy and improvised the rest."
Wow.
Yes.
That's so cool and fucking scary.
But she says
I forgot the driver was kind of young, right?
Yeah, probably about the same age. He's a young driver. And
I forgot he was so young because I was like, wait, didn't the guy have an older driver? But he didn't. I'm getting the certain ages mixed up. But that's what made the connection of her leaving her panties in the car.
So why did she do
is
that?
he doing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So she's like, I laid a trap, and then we cut to the Park's house, and we cut to the Benz, and Mr. Park is sitting. Mr. Park is sitting in his Benz getting driven, and then he kind of like sees like on the ground these panties. He picks them up, and then we cut back to the house, and he comes home, and he kind of tells his wife that he found those panties, and he's like why? He's like, why do it in my Benz? Like, you know, and he also says he's like, if you had to do it, why not just do it in the front seat? Why do you have to cross that line and go in my seat?
Right.
Yes.
They're going to do this to get one of their people employed, right?
Well, yeah. So the father used to drive cars for people.
Motherfucker.
He used to be a valet. So again, he fires the driver. And the daughter, so he fires the driver, and then after one of the art lessons, the daughter says, my father's brother used to have a driver before they moved to Chicago. He was, older, he was nice, blah blah blah. And she's like, I'll recommend, well, give me his number. And then basically the driver gets an interview and gets the job. The dad gets the interview.
Yeah. So I'm gonna guess now, halfway or like midway or quarter way through whatever we're doing here, that the dad is gonna fuck something up, and the kids are gonna have to like clean it up because of the pizza boxes. And I just want to put that out there now so we can see if I'm right later.
I mean, okay. I won't say anything then.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, so the driver gets a job.
Yeah, he gets a job. And now the last obstacle in their way of basically getting all this money for themselves is the housekeeper.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she's been with the house. The history is she's been with the house since the architect lived there and the architect who built it. So she came with the house.
Yeah.
So
there's a deeper context to it.
But they're not satisfied with 3 people out of the 4 people that live in that family getting income from them. They want...
No, they all got to get jobs. So, no, they all got to get jobs. Get that money, right? Yeah.
That's really like...
I don't know. Honestly, that's... They established the daughter and son as... I mean, they establish all of them as being like kind of not con artists, but like desperate. But it is interesting that like immediately it's like, this is a way to con things. Like it just kind of starts. There's no group conversation where they're like, we got to con this family. It just starts with the son recommending the sister, and then the sister being like, oh yeah, we got to get you a job here. And then it's like, now we got to get mom a job. So,
but I will say that the son has like, even like you were saying before, like the family is the main premise, but the son does kind of have that main character spot. It does show certain pieces of certain spots where his vision is much larger than what he has. Oof, so
I'm so
like
nervous.
His family might be looking for like the next like money check or where their money is coming in next. But he's like, I don't want to be. His mentality, you can kind of grasp throughout the movie, is not so much I want to live paycheck to paycheck. He's like, I want to get out of here. I want to do all these big things. I want to be better. I don't want my family to ever live like this.
Stressed.
He's thinking larger than what they've ever thought.
Now, there's a moment we kind of forgot. So when his good friend comes over to their place, just before they go and have a drink, and then he tells them about this like tutoring job, he brings a gift for, I believe it's for the father, but it's for the family. And it's like, it's a big kind of rock formation on like on a stand, and it's one of his, I guess it's one of this guy's uncles, and he collects these like really really like rare rocks, and it's supposed to be like a sign of prosperity. It's supposed to be a symbol of prosperity. I forgot. Yeah.
Okay.
And like, so like the son like is holding us and looking at us, and he's like mesmerized by it, and he believes this, he's going to prosper because of this.
Right.
That's another little seed to plant in there that comes up later.
Yeah.
But that happens.
That part.
So this is the best, one of the most like ingenious kind of plots and weird like cool things in the movie. Not cool because it's kind of horrible, but and why we're drinking what we're drinking.
Oh no.
So they do the story of the housekeeper. The housekeeper has been there for a long time, since the architect. She knows everything about the house. They trust her with everything, and she basically runs the house and acts like she owns the house. And then we get this little scene where the son is tutoring the daughter, and the daughter, the housekeeper brings them a plate of fruit, and the daughter's like, oh, I wish I could have peaches. And the son's like, why don't you ask her to bring peaches? And it's like, this is a peach-free zone because the housekeeper is like deathly allergic to peaches.
Oh my God, I forgot about this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'm so stressed. Oh no.
So this is like Ocean's 11 style plot. Let's like,
oh my God, the plot is so thick.
Yeah, well, we talked about that movie.
I feel like I'm getting like verklempt. I'm getting like hot thinking about the plot. Okay. Oh my God, it's so true. But what they do is like so crazy. It just clicked to me. I'm like, oh my Jesus, this is crazy. Please continue, Will. I feel like I'm watching it.
Tell me.
I mean, the plot. Okay, so
I know that's how I feel every episode.
So the plot is, she's like deathly. She's really allergic to them. But anyway, we see like the daughter shaving off. It's the peach fuzz is what she's allergic to. The little hair. She's like anaphylactic to that. So she's like shaving off. She's shaving off like the peach fuzz. And then and like they all have little capsules of this peach fuzz.
No.
So round one is when the son is leaving the house. He like fucking like like sprays the peach fuzz on like her back, which prompts her to get all itchy, and realizing that she's having allergic reaction, she runs to the hospital. And at the hospital is the father is at the hospital. And he sits kind of near her as she's like on the phone and like scratching herself and like coughing. And he like takes like a selfie with her in behind. He shows the selfie to the mother as he's like driving her to like groceries, like the rich mom. He's like, I was just getting my annual checkup, and that's your housekeeper, right? And it's like, yeah. It's like, I don't want to pry. I wasn't lying. And then this is really cool because they cut between him telling the mom and him acting out the script that they're going to try to like do. So that like the son's writing like, no, you got to say it like this, and directing him like as an actor. He's like, no, your emotions are too high. You got to bring it down here.
Interesting.
But basically he's like, she was on the phone crazy and yelling and like really loud. So, I couldn't help but overhear, but she had just been diagnosed with tuberculosis.
Come on. Come on.
And he's like, and I was concerned because you have a young son, and TB is nothing to be,
nothing to play with.
Nothing to play with.
So she's like a hover mom. She's like one of those like crazy hover mom. Exactly the mom I described.
Yeah. Exactly the one
everywhere and everything about the kids. Exactly
the kind of mom that just doesn't want their kids to have TB, That's that kind of mom.
I guess it's every mom. I guess it's fine. Yeah. I'm out here judging her like, you see, she went to Whole Foods. And it's like, my mom would feel the same way. My mom would be
oh no.
So as they're driving, and the rich mom knows about this now. The dad texts the daughter, we're going to be there in 3 minutes. So the daughter runs down, comes downstairs to grab something from the fridge because she's in the art lesson with the little boy. She flicks peach fuzz onto the housekeeper. So as the mom arrives with the driver, with the dad, she arrives seeing the housekeeper like coughing and like, coughing up a storm, and then she throws her like napkin or her Kleenex into the garbage. And the dad, and they kind of, again, they keep cutting back and forth to like their planning stages. And like, this will be the icing on your cake if you can do it. He has this little packet of hot sauce, and he goes over to the garbage, opens it up, and then quickly sprays the hot sauce on it, pulls it out. So the mom sees it's like covered in blood. And basically she gets fired. She like gets let go. But
they're like, we cannot have her here.
Exactly. She tells the husband that she quit because the dad is like all worried. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm seen as a snitch, like I don't want your husband to look down on me. So the mom's like, don't worry, I'll tell him that she quit. I won't tell him why. I don't want him to get worried about the TB either.
Oh my God.
So now bring in Mama Kim is now the new housekeeper.
I'm fucking upset.
It's like it's literally like the most beautiful and disturbing chess game you've ever fucking witnessed.
That is such a good way to say that. Yeah,
because the more that all of them come together, it's like they continue to cross paths in every single area of this family's life, and it's like little things that they start figuring out about the family that each member likes. It's so incredibly it's also incredibly like shot, just certain symbolic shots. But yeah, it's once the mom comes in, it's like, now it gets even crazier because now they're like completely in power in the house and the family has no idea.
And it's what's really funny about it is like I said before, the dad is actually a really great driver. The mom cooks perfectly well, super awesome. He tutors well. She actually controls the child and actually teaches them art. Like they're all really good at their jobs. So it's kind of this thing of like, just because they're poor means that they couldn't get these jobs.
Can I just say an unpopular opinion for a second? Just to throw it in the mix, this unpopular opinion.
Say it.
Okay, yes. So these people are conning their way to, I only assume, take over the lives of these people. Right? So like, it's like the people that were not
true though.
Listen,
that's
no,
not
just
true.
Listen for a second. Just listen to me for a second, Will. All right. They are taking over the lives. So they're conning them to take over the lives. So they are taking away whatever these people have so that they have it. And then unpopular opinion is relate that to taxing people that make more money and taxing more to people that make more money so that you even the playing ground. Right?
I mean, the movie is definitely talking about class relations. And I know that you're like just a foaming at the mouth capitalist, Alenka.
I'm not. I'm not. Is it not the same?
But but I wouldn't say they're actually trying to take over their lives, to be honest. They're conning their way into well-paying jobs at this point. That at this point, we're not supposed to think they're trying to like take over their house. They're literally just like trying to replace the help they already have, which is kind of funny in that point. They're just trying to better their own station.
Of ruining whoever's life. Firing this guy, giving him a bad reputation.
Yeah. That's the symbolism of our class warfare, basically, which is we're all scrounging over each other to get minimal jobs, fighting each other while the richest of the rich don't like go on their merry lives,
Does this end in a way where the rich gets fucked? Because those are my favorite stories.
In a way, you'll find out.
You might not feel the same way after you hear what happens. But
I'm so stressed.
You might feel bad about that.
So they're they're all together, and there's a great shot where you basically almost see the whole family. It's almost like a one shot where you see like the whole family in the house helping out with everyone else. And there's a great shot actually where the mom, like the driver comes in with the dad and the mom is carrying food, and the dad comes up behind her and just starts like grabbing her ass like secretly. Like it's kind of just like they don't know that we're together, that we're a couple. Like
it's fun. They're probably having the fucking time of their life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
it honestly was really, it was almost something for me. I'm always into like emotion. Every comment I'm putting into this, I'm like, emotionally I feel, but really it was kind of like when watching that scene and watching all of the pieces kind of move almost like a carousel that was intertwining with each other. It gives you this feeling when you're watching it of like secondhand joy or like happiness for them, because you're like, you want to be so happy for them, and you're like, you're literally doing something so fucked up, and it's like you just want this family to do good, because like he said, like they're so capable of what they're doing. They just got dealt like, you know, a shitty hand. But exactly. it's a really crazy shot.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is kind of not the last thing, but the son. There's a moment where the son runs over and smells the dad, like sniffs him.
Okay.
And then runs over to the fridge. Oh. No, just smells him, and then runs over to the fridge and smells the mom, like the poor mom, the Kim mom. And then they smell the same. They both smell the same. And he goes, Jessica smells like that too. So then they all realize they gotta like start washing their clothes differently, but then the dad also makes the point that it's not just the clothes, it's the smell of like the slums. It's their poor smell. They smell the same, which comes up later. It's very symbolic and very important about that, the fact that the dad smells. Like not like stinky exactly, just smells. Yeah.
Right. Just has it, like your grandfather has a scent, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's more than that, but we'll get to it.
The fact that the privileged son, I guess I'll call him, because there's a lot of family, I guess, or like names in this. But the fact that the privileged son is noticing or is having all of these kind of key points, is very important, because he's the one kind of planting these seeds, but I guess because he's so young, doesn't know how to articulate them the best, they're obviously not taken so seriously.
Yeah.
You know, so he's the one. Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered something. So real quick, the reason why he needs art therapy is because the mom says that he believes that he saw a ghost.
Oh,
there was like this whole
that's
thing.
what I had in my head.
They come back to that again, but the first time they talk about it, he's like, he believes he saw a ghost and he had a seizure, and that's why he needs art therapy, is because he has seizures and he's very like afraid of this ghost that he's supposedly saw. So that's why the mom's super concerned about him. But anyway, we'll drop that. It comes back later, and when it comes back, you're like, oh my God.
I'm so fucking stressed.
But here, we're getting to the halfway point, and this is kind of, so what happens is everything's going well. The Kim family is loving all the money they're getting now, and they're actually having real meals and whatnot together.
Did they move or something?
No, they're still in their same.
They're still there.
They're just eating good.
Apartment. Yeah. Yeah, they're eating good.
And that new money.
Yeah, exactly. And the Park family decides, like, for the young boy's birthday, they're all going to go on a camping trip. So on that camping trip, they're all going away. They have 3 dogs in the house. So basically, the mom, as the housekeeper, they're like, hey, like she's going to stay the weekend, feed the dogs, take care of the house. So this is they're like, oh, we can just like live it up in their house for a weekend for fun. So basically they're all in the house, just like having like baths, just like, and the son is reading the daughter's diary so he can connect with her more.
Oh my God.
Because he's in love with the daughter too.
He develops a love for the daughter that his friend set him up with. Yeah. You know, and that his friend was saying, like, oh, only you can replace me.
It won't be a deal.
Surprise,
it won't be a
surprise.
big deal. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so they're all just hanging out, having a great time in the house. They're in like the yard, and they're like, the mom also, this is a funny moment, because earlier on in the movie, like in the opening, when you see pictures of the family in their like little basement apartment, we see the mom and I guess she used to be a champion. Fucking what's that thing? Shot putter, not a shot put. The swinging one. What's the swinging one?
What?
You know, in the
The
Olympics,
swinging?
like when they like, yeah. So you know, shot put in the Olympics.
Yeah.
What's
I know
the
shot put
hammer
from
toss?
track
The
and
hammer throw.
field.
She was like a champion hammer thrower.
I
Yeah.
don't know
We don't
shit
know.
about fuck.
We don't
I was
know.
like curling. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So she used to be like a champion,
She throws
like
hammers.
hammer thrower, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's a shot where they're all in the front yard, and she's like swinging the hammer and throws it, and it crashes. I don't know. I just love that. It's kind of funny. They're just living it up in their house. So they're all living it up.
Weird.
And they're all hanging out in the living room.
And everybody had left, and they had like.
Right.
They're all drunk together. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And it's
okay.
like they're all sitting there admiring this like architectural house, looking out into this very like well done lawn, because you know everything is very geometric in this type of futuristic looking
Yeah.
house.
Exactly.
And they're all looking out and just kind of sitting there joking with each other, busting each other's balls, like pissing each other off, but in a very family close sense. And it's a very it's a lot of dialogue, I believe, in the scene, if I remember correctly. And
it's kind of indicates like all their kind of dreams and how they're feeling about everything they're doing, and they all are less basically like, it is kind of like a, you know, like they all laughing at the fact that they've somehow conned this family, and they're not, but not in like a villainous way. Yeah.
No, they're doing
Just
it in
like
a way
they
of
can't
like
believe it.
Well, that they can't believe it, but also like this is how it should be for us.
Yeah.
Like we deserve this. We can do this. There's like a moment of hope as well as like appreciation for what they're doing with each other. And does somebody get into a fight? Is that what I'm thinking?
Yeah. Well, it's okay. So it's funny. While I was sitting watching this, I was kind of actually really hoping that they were all sitting around like watching a movie together. You know, Alenka?
I've
Like,
never watched
just
any
sitting around
movies.
watching a movie together.
I don't watch movies.
No,
with my
I guess you
family,
haven't. But
especially not.
do you know who else? Do you know who else watches movies? Do you know who else watches movies?
Oh, no, Will. Who? I've never heard of people watching movies before.
Well, there's two people who watch movies, two specific people, Alessandra Vitae and Alex Kalenko from the Shh, I'm Watching a Movie podcast on the Sonar Network. This is a great podcast that we're shouting out for the month of November. They are two best buds in the Toronto comedy scene who watch each other's favorite movies. And guess what, Alenka?
Tell me.
One of them hasn't seen the movie they watch.
That's like me.
Yeah, that's just like you. In fact, their 12th episode is When Harry Met Sally, our
we did
second
that.
episode. So, yeah, if you're listening to us and you kind of like that episode, then hop on over to their podcast, Shh, I'm Watching a Movie, on the Sonar Network, and watch episode 12. They've got tons more, too. They have comedy members of the Toronto comedy scene come on.
Yup.
They talk through the movie, which, as they say, is the best way to watch a movie, is people talking through it.
I would disagree,
And
but whatever.
they're just
Unpopular
hilarious.
opinion.
strong hard no.
Yeah,
Strong hard no.
that's basically what it is, and it's a really fun podcast, and we encourage you to go on over to the sonarnetwork.com and check out their podcast. Shh, I'm Watching a Movie with Alessandra Vitae and Alex Kalenko. That's what I wish they were doing when they were sitting on the couch, but that's not what they're doing. They're all talking, having a good time, and then yes, someone does get in a fight.
Oh, the dad and the son.
The dad and the mom. The mom says something about the dad being scared of cockroaches.
Okay.
Or scared like a little cockroach. And then
Right,
the dad
yeah.
kind of
What?
turns to
Scared
her.
of what?
And then like, I can't remember exactly.
Like
But
scared about what they're doing
I'm-
and getting caught?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe like, I'm surprised your father didn't wuss out or something. I don't know. Something along those lines. It's
is
not,
this the like,
and then
he
he
could have
turns.
messed up, but he didn't?
No, this is not that. It's more or less like the dad turns to the mom and like grabs her by the shirt, and it's this really tense moment, and the kids are like, oh, what's going on, what's happening? And then they both start laughing, and the dad is just like, fooled you, didn't I? And like it's this tense moment built up for no reason, like it's just for fun. But then the real tense moment happens. We hear the doorbell
family comes
ring.
home. Oh, what's that? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
Oh,
okay.
No.
Oh no, you're missing the twist happens.
What?
The doorbell rings.
Oh, I remember.
Yes,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
What?
Do you want to take it over?
What?
It's the old housekeeper.
Oh shit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
She came by to fuck shit up.
Like actually?
I actually don't remember what she comes by to do.
Well,
but
she's there. She's out in the rain, and like the mother like is answering, and she's basically just like, hey, like I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't be here, but I left something here of mine. I really need to get it back. I know the car is gone, so I know that the Kims are out of town. If you could just let me in real quick, I'll come grab it. And basically the mom is like, okay, fine. So she lets her in, and they're like, hi, yeah. And then she like goes down. And so the Kims have this like cellar.
Oh my God.
They have this cellar where they have all a bunch of old stuff, and we see it at some different times in the movie. But basically it's just like they have a lot of storage down there. And she like immediately kind of like, thank you, runs down into the cellar. And then the mother, and again, the rest of the family's hiding because like this woman doesn't know any of this, right? So
she thinks that it's just the new housekeeper there.
Yeah.
So she like runs downstairs, and the mother goes downstairs, and then it's kind of a weird, it's almost super creepy shot, but like we see there's this big, it's kind of like a giant cabinet that covers this wall, and the housekeeper is like in between like the wall and the cabinet, trying to like suspended in midair, trying to like push it over, like she's trying to move the cabinet over.
Okay.
It's like a giant like wooden and glass cabinet, and she's like, please help me move it. And then she like the mother helps her move the cabinet over, and it reveals like a secret door.
What?
Yeah.
Is this
and the
supposed
woman
to be
pulls is what
where she lives? No.
Not yet.
Come on.
And she opens this concrete door, and she runs down into this, it's like a bunker basically, and she follows her, and there's this man in the bunker, this random man, and this is where the movie you go, what the fuck is happening?
The movie completely changes genre.
Yeah, it
completely changes genre.
Now it is like almost like a horror, not really horror, but like a thriller, scary.
Yes,
it is out of this world. And she explains,
there's a man down there. Yeah,
there's a man there, and she basically immediately explains
just left
that
my fucking man.
Yes, it's her husband.
Oh,
and basically he's like, again, they're poor. Like both, like they were poor too.
Yeah.
So when they worked for the architect, when the architect left, there was a time in between when the architect left and when like and the new family went in. So they kind of like she moved him into this bunker, and they explained that a lot of these rich houses have bunkers for either, it was funny, it's like for either when North Korea attacks, or when debt collectors come. Like they have these like these bunkers. Yeah. And so she moved him in, and basically feeds him feeds him stuff and like takes care of him while she's in the house.
Sad.
And because since she was fired, she wasn't able to like get him food or anything.
No. Do they feel bad for what they did?
It's like, well, no, they're like, again, this is another symbolism of like us, like, like the lower classes just trying to step over each other and not helping each other, because she's like, she keeps calling her like sis, like just,
she knows.
we're of the same kind, like please help us, like blah blah blah. Well, no, she doesn't know yet. She doesn't know about the con job. She thinks she's just another housekeeper. That will pity her.
But it's interesting though, because when you're in that position, like the current housekeeper, the current mother was, you almost put yourself in that upper class. You make yourself believe that you're above that, even though she is that. So she then, it turns against her own type of people when she could easily help her and everything kind of would have been okay. But because, you know, that's why that scene right before where they're all in the living room sitting at the table shooting the shits in a house that's not theirs, but they're looking at it and feeling like it is theirs. They're imagining as if they're of another higher class. And that's why she almost looks at this woman and is like, I'm not your sister. Like, we're not the same, even though, yes, you are. But because now you're in her spot, you don't think that you're on the same level.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
guys
this idea of
know
classism
money is
can
not
warp your
the devil,
reality.
though, right? Like, it's not the money, it's the people.
Oh, facts. Oh, you better drop that gem, girl.
It is.
It's
just because you have money doesn't mean you have
money
to be
is not the enemy. The people are.
No, of course not. No, of course not.
No, I know
I'm
some
so
mean
mad.
ass homeless people here, bro. Okay,
That's true. See, it's just the people.
So she's trying
bitter.
She's trying to plead with Mrs. Kim. She's trying to plead with her, and the rest of the family has followed and is like listening around the corner. Yeah, and then I forget what it happens, like who does it, but someone trips and they all fall into view.
Come on,
and then the housekeeper is like recognizes. Probably. It was probably the dad who fucked up. Yeah.
We both
so maybe
probably.
You're probably right, Alika.
Yeah.
The dad
it's
fucked
like they
up
were
just
all
like the pizza
listening
boxes.
to the drama.
Yeah. And then now the housekeeper has put it together that they are just like this. They're the same. They're trying to like, con their way into this family
literally
and whatever.
The same thing.
And she pulls out her phone and records them. And she basically is like step back. Like, I'm going to send this to Mrs. Park. Like, I'm going to so basically she's holding them hostage with this text message and they go out into the regular house. And then it's kind of this funny scene where she basically has them all like on their knees in the corner of the living room while she's like massaging her husband's shoulders on the couch and just like holding the phone because if they do anything, she'll send it and everything will be ruined.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they kind of do a little flashback scene where like basically the husband would come out when the architect left or died. I can't remember what happened, but whenever the architect left and the house was kind of empty, the husband and her would come up and marvel at the architecture and dance in the living room. And they're having like this flashback moment while they're talking. And then fucking the family just like jumps them. And it's this slow motion scene of they tackle them and they're trying to grab the phone and everyone's like it's arms and legs everywhere trying to grab at this phone. The phone like falls and they're all going crazy. And the daughter like runs out to the kitchen, grabs a peach and just starts rubbing it in the housekeeper's face. Just fucking
shit.
Oh no.
Yeah. Just rubs it and they're all like getting them all like just trying to get them off. And then the phone rings.
Come on.
Alenka is stressed.
It is a stressful AF. Stressful AF.
Who the fuck's
on the
phone?
Alenka? Who's on the other end? Who is it?
The mom.
Mamacita.
Or the dad.
Mama
One
Park.
of the family.
It's mom. Yeah.
Yes,
it's
Mama
yeah.
Park. They said because they were going camping for the weekend.
It's the,
like the
old
house
housekeepers.
phone.
Oh, okay.
No, the house phone.
The house phone.
Yeah, because Mrs. Kim is still supposed to be there, right? Like she's staying at the house on the weekend to take care of the dogs and whatnot. So they phone her and they're like, we got rained out. Like the camping trip got rained out. We're on our way back. Can you make? And she's like, actually, what's funny is that she answers the phone and the first line is just like, can you make Ramdon?
Come on.
And the mom is like, what? And she's like, it's a dish. It's the song. That's the son's name, the little boy, his favorite dish. Our camping weekend got rained out. So I really wanted him to have like some Ramdon, which is ramen and udon noodles with like sirloin steak. She's like, there's sirloin in the fridge. So they all rush. Basically, they drag.
Oh, and then she says she's like 5 minutes away.
Oh, yeah, 5 minutes away.
She's like, I'm 5 minutes away. Dude.
Oh, man, it's crazy. And then the score is like, it's orchestra, it's super fast violins, and they're all cleaning. They're cleaning basically also the living room table is full of garbage and junk food and everything.
Shit.
Like every piece
and
of food
bottles,
in the house.
like liquor bottles
And they're
galore.
like cleaning that up. The son and the dad are like dragging the mother and the son, or sorry, the housekeeper and her husband like down into the. Yeah, they're like trying to drag them back and down to that cellar. Like,
because they're like
bunker.
dead now, right? They're dead.
No, they're not dead. They're
not dead yet.
The housekeeper is obviously having an allergic reaction. Is pretty much almost passed out. And the husband, they kind of make reference to it, but he's like a weak man. Like he's just not. He can't fight.
He probably hasn't eaten in a couple days.
He would not fight any of them. Oh, true. He's very weak.
But he doesn't eat very much, period.
He's
on the struggle bus.
Yeah. They drag into the cellar.
Struggle bus in his way through life.
Stress.
And they go down in there, and then the mother's like whipping up this like ramen noodle dish. The daughter's trying to clean up everything. And then the father like friggin' the father's dragging them all in, and then the housekeeper like runs up the stairs, like running away just as everyone arrives. Like everyone arrives, the daughter like slides under the living room table.
Come on,
along with the son, I think. Oh no, not the son. No, just the daughter. And then the family arrives, is walking through the house. The son is actually dives under the daughter's bed, like who he's tutoring, her bed. And then as the housekeeper's like running up the stairs, like yelling for the mother or yelling for the rich mother, Mrs. Kim, the poor mother, walks by the stairs to the cellar and just like kicks her down the stairs, and she tumbles down the stair, hits her head just as the rich mom walks into the kitchen and she serves her the Ramdon and everything's okay.
It's the most stressful moment I've ever dealt with.
Fucked. Ew.
Yeah.
Stress
City.
Struggle bussing.
Ew.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate it.
Oh man.
Dude, it's crazy. To watch the whole thing go down, it's like, because you really don't think it's going to happen.
Right.
You know how like in regular movies, in like romantic comedy movies, it's like, oh, they're going to get caught, but everything's going to be fine. In this movie, it's like, oh, they're going to get caught.
Oh,
nah, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
No.
It's wild.
Now, this is where, so Mrs. Kim serves the Ramdon. The son, I guess, just goes upstairs, doesn't eat it.
What the fuck, guy? So made it for you.
It's just like, it's late at night. He's like tired and he's being put to bed. And Mrs. Kim's in the kitchen with Mrs. Park, and she's eating the Ramdon, and she tells Mrs. Kim about her son's like ghost experience.
And so interesting.
She talks about, so she's like, my son, would like to get up in the night and eat things out of the fridge. He would always go into the fridge. And it was his last birthday, his cake was still in the fridge, like afterwards. And he had opened the fridge and was eating the cake. And that's when he saw the ghost. He said the ghost was peering at him from where the cellar is. And he looks and it shows kind of like what the scene would have been. And it's the husband. It's the husband who lives in the bunker staring at him.
So he's been seeing him.
Ew.
Yeah, he's been seeing the husband.
So I have a question. Will, when does the I don't know. I don't know if we're at this part yet, so I don't know if I want to say anything.
No, I don't. Wait, when does the what?
Never mind.
One keyword.
I'm so sad.
Not yet. Not fully yet.
Okay.
Fuck you guys. I hate secrets.
So basically,
I love that he knew what I knew what he knew. I love it.
I'm so mad.
They all like. So we learned that. We also, so everything kind of seems okay. They're all hiding them. The son's under the bed. That's not going to end well. Of like the daughter he's tutoring. The father's still in the cellar, and he tapes up the husband, because the husband is like banging his head on this light switch. It's like a light. It's like a button, and that's what's turning on the lights up the stairs.
Oh, shut the fuck
lights. Yes.
Weird.
So like
what?
so
why?
So the lights from like the very first scene when the husband walks in is from the guy that's been stuck in the bunker the entire time.
why is he doing that beforehand though? Like he's hitting those light switch to like send a signal to his wife, like, bitch, I'm hungry?
No. This is kind of a symbolism. Again, he does it because it's almost like he's like in love with Mr. Park. Like he's like honoring him. It's like he's a god to him because he feeds him and houses him. And this is kind of another of those symbolism of how we also are so obsessed and like we are almost brainwashed to like think that these millionaires and the richest of the people are the people we need to aspire to be like.
Yeah. People we need to worship, you know?
Yeah.
Wait,
exactly.
How is this clear?
So,
I'm confused.
But then
he explains it. He talks about it. He talks about how he did the same with the architect. He like, I don't know, you know, like he honors this man by like turning the lights on as he walks for him or something. Like,
but the way that he does the lights is through Morse code.
Yeah, to send him messages. Yeah,
that's got you.
Yes,
okay.
So
got you.
So the lights aren't just like going on for him. It's like he's literally trying to send messages
to him.
And guess who's a Cub Scout?
Him? The boy.
No,
the little boy. The son. So he can read it.
The boy is like a Cub Scout too. Yeah.
Like he's trying to understand the Morse codes.
Yeah, the rich boy. He's like he's the only one who's been noticing like the Morse code in the lights because he always clocks it. Yeah.
What is even
guys? I've been guys, I have to tell you that the darker this plot gets, the more I've been drinking. I just continue to just pour the drink.
This is just my alcohol base. So,
oh my God.
Nice.
You guys didn't even see the finesse that just happened. The ice that was just given in my glass.
Screen.
Literally. Texted my boyfriend. I was like, I'm going to need ice for this.
I'm going to need ice.
The shit that's coming up.
Oh, fuck. I'm so stressed.
Oh. So
oh my God.
We're still in Stress City. We're not even out of this situation
We're not
yet.
out.
But so the dad tapes him up downstairs and time goes by. They think like everyone's kind of gone to bed or is settled. So the son gets out underneath the daughter's bed.
Risky.
The daughter like sneaks out under the coffee table and the dad's about to leave, but then they can hear everyone start coming downstairs. And so all of them except for Mrs. Kim hide under the coffee table in the living room because they think they're in the clear. They can leave, but then suddenly so they all run over to the coffee table. They hide underneath. It's a giant ass like wooden coffee table. Like
rich
they all
table.
hide underneath that. Rich people's table. Yeah. They all hide underneath that. And the son is like, basically his son's running outside in the rain with his teepee and he wants to camp outside even though it's pouring rain.
Okay.
And the mom's all like, oh, no. But the dad's like, don't worry. We have Rocky Talkies. Let's just like, we'll sleep on the couch tonight. So they sleep on the couch.
Oh my God. I forgot. So the wife and the husband. Sorry, I just jumped on in here. I might have just called you off really harsh. Okay, so the wife, of course, I come in at this scene. If this doesn't show where my mind is at, then I don't really know where. Yes, honey. Okay. So they have sex on the couch while everybody is under the table. Yeah. And I just realized I'm screaming. I'm like, they have sex on the couch. Okay. So they have sex on the couch.
Also, I should say just before that, the daughter is also texting the son, like the tutor, because she's also like, they're like a thing now. They've been like in a little bit of kissing and stuff. So his phone's vibrating. His phone's like vibrating and he's like trying to like turn it down. So there's little tensions there.
It's weird little tensions. It's the three of them underneath the coffee table. The father, the son, and the daughter. And then it's the privileged dad and the privileged wife and the son outside. And then the daughter is where? Upstairs?
In her room.
No. Oh, yeah. The daughter is in her room.
The daughter's in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. The daughter's in the room. But the scene is especially uncomfortable because he just like slowly starts touching her vajay. And I'm like, sis.
Well, no. Okay. This is such a very specific sex scene. And no, he actually reaches and just starts like outside of the robe that she's wearing, like rubbing her nipple. Just her single nipple.
Yes. I knew it was one uncomfortable space. I didn't even.
Yeah. And it's just like that. So it's like, yeah, that gets you going. Like it's circular motion.
Circular motion.
Just
I don't know why guys think it's like a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Like, let me just rev you up real quick.
And I think that is, and she's like, oh, yes, clockwise. Do it clockwise.
Come on.
Let me just.
And I think, honestly, the scene like represents, like, I think they're kind of like vanilla way of like, I guess having, I don't know, like semi.
Sure.
It's so weird. But then this is kind of, there's just before that, and this is the important part. They talk about, basically he's like, I can still smell that. And they're like, what? And they're like, that Mr. Kim smell. And they kind of make fun of the way he smells. And they say, and he says, it smells like some people you might find on the subway. And she's like, oh, I haven't taken public transportation in years. And it's kind of like how disconnected they are from like regular people. And the subway has a smell and they smell poor people. And Mr. Kim feels so like horrible. He feels like dirt at that point, hearing that like underneath the table. So that's just before the sex scene.
That cuts him deep. Yeah. That cuts him a little deep.
Aww.
But the sex scene happens. And it's
it's very technical.
I should mention, because this is another kind of funny / not funny thing. When he brings home the panties from the car and fires his driver, he talks about how the panties look as if they could belong to someone like a drug addict, almost kind of like almost like someone not, a woman who's not fully like, not respectable or something. Like they kind of talk a bit about that. So during the sex scene, Mr. Kim is like, do you still have, the driver's like dirty panties?
No.
And he's like, that would really get me hard. And she's like, oh yeah, buy me drugs.
What the fuck?
Like, they're role playing as like poor, like desperate people.
Come on. That's so weird.
Oh my God.
You know what?
Think about how uncomfortable that is for all of them, like to hear that.
Oh yeah.
Everyone under the table to hear that.
Yeah. Well, just in general, you never want to overhear somebody doing it, but also role playing to like your stuff.
Oofa. It's rough.
Yeah.
Wait. Oofa. So so then the next morning comes.
Well, it's it's in the middle of the night. Everyone's asleep. They fall asleep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And they all sneak out under the table. Okay. After, so the two kids sneak out and they're waiting for the father. He's sneaking out. But then the son goes on the radio like, oh, Dad, I'm scared, blah, blah, blah. And they wake up and he's like, Mr. Kim's pulled himself just enough darkness that they don't see him. And then they go back to sleep after the son is like, they're like, just go back to sleep, son. And then they get out of the house and basically it's been pouring rain all night. They get out of the house. They basically run to their slum. Like they don't have anywhere. Yeah. And it's pouring rain. They get to their slum and the whole slum is like flooded. And
they run 4 feet deep.
Yeah. Yeah. They run to their apartment and it's gone. Like they have to run in and grab all their valuables and shit. And it's really sad and a low.
Yeah. It is really sad, especially because the way that their street is angled is literally like they're at the bottom. The street is slightly angled upward, and their apartment. Oh, I just tapped that. That might have been harmful. But their apartment is like here. Their window is like literally just this little bit of their like entire apartment. So all the water from the street is running down through the windows or through anywhere else and just filling up their apartment to the point where when they get into the apartment, they're swimming. It's like up to here on them. And then they find the stone that their
prosperous stone.
The prosperous stone that the son
Harry Potter and the Prosperous Stone.
Exactly. But that their son's friend basically gave to them, and it's like I don't remember how they found it, but it's floating or it's floating
and and basically Kiwoo picks it up, and that's like the only thing he takes, and he's holding on to it as they're in this giant gymnasium. It's like a shelter that they're sleeping in.
Right, the shelter,
for all the people basically flooded out, and he's holding it, and he's talking about how it's been following him around, like metaphorically almost, and he, he apologizes to his father because he feels like this is all his fault, everything that's happened so far, and that he's going to fix it, blah, blah, blah. And his father had been talking about having a plan, and then he finally asks him, and his father is like, the best plan is no plan. It all doesn't matter. Everything is fucked. Like, I don't know. He's very pessimistic in that moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's the next morning. And this last collection of scenes is fucking crazy, Alenka.
You could not have a crazier set of scenes.
I'm not ready.
So the mother decides, because they had to cancel their camping trip, she wants to throw an impromptu birthday party for her son, Dasong. So she invites Jessica, the art teacher, because it's his like 1 year anniversary of his traumatic experience. So it's like his trauma party, and she's, she's like the reason that he's so much better.
Sweet.
And then the daughter is like, oh, can I invite Kevin? Kevin is also the fake name of the tutor, of the son's fake name. And so he comes, so they're all invited to the party. And of course the housekeeper has to be there. Like the mom has to be there. And Mr. Park is there to drive and help her pick up groceries and stuff. And they're all at the party, and they're all like going like, oh, what do we do? Like, what do we do about the people in the basement? Because there's still people in the basement, like walk in there and they can come out, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And, meanwhile, I have to say, just in that nighttime, we do see a scene. Basically, it's kind of juxtaposed with all the flooding in their apartment, and they're trying to like get their stuff, and then the toilet's overflowing. And then we also cut to, in the bunker, the old housekeeper she's got a crazy concussion because she smashed her head. She like gets into the bunker, but she's also like having anaphylactic shock and seizures, and she's flowing up into the toilet. And then it cuts to the toilet overflowing in the Kim's house, and she basically dies. And that night the housekeeper dies and basically repeats the names of the people who killed her or whatever.
Weird.
Like, and tells her husband to, like, do that, like keep those names in mind, kind of thing.
She's a fucking ghost now.
Yeah. So they're at the house, and they're all like, what's going on? But the son this whole time has been like, he's kind of been self-reflecting this whole time. He's looking out the window at all these he's like, oh, look at all of them, all these impromptu people. They look so cool. They look so put together, even though this is a last minute party. And he keeps asking the daughter like, oh, do I fit in here? Like the person he's in love with. And she's like, yeah, I guess, I don't know. And so he like leaves, and he grabs, he brought the rock with him, and he like grabs the rock, and he like is bringing it down to the cellar because like that's his plan, I guess. I think his plan is to go kill those two people. He's decided.
Why?
And meanwhile, Mrs. Park wants her husband and Mr. Kim to dress as like bad Native Americans, bad Indians, and her son can be the good Indian to kill the bad like Indians. It's like a fun little play they're gonna do, which is kind of I guess more symbolism about how they view that. Again, it's kind culture. Of the fact that they're doing like they're the so same disconnected. They just kind of culture no fighting each other,
right?
Yeah,
right.
And
interesting.
Mr. Kim is he's being very, very like almost like petulant, and Mr. Park is like, you're being paid extra for this. Like, this is part of your job now or something.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like getting on Mr. Kim's nerves. So that's happening. They're like going to do all that. And they're like planning to like ambush the party for fun. So the son is walking downstairs the rock. He gets into the bunker, and the husband, who has broken free of his, like, he was duct taped by the father the night before, but he's broken free, and he jumps the son, and the son like races up, and like he gets caught on something, and basically like he falls down into the cellar, and the husband takes the rock and just like smashes him on the head. The son. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and
dead?
For good measure, smashes it again.
Dead.
Maybe dead.
Maybe
dead.
Unconscious.
Possibly.
Definitely unconscious.
We're led to believe he's dead.
But you're supposed to believe he's dead, right?
Yeah,
But then now the husband is free. And while that husband is free, the father that is with, like, I don't even know how to say this properly because there's just so many things that are happening in this group of scenes that are counteracting each other because the next you explain it. I feel like you're better at chronologically explaining things. I'm just like
the sequence of events is the daughter, like Jessica, goes over to her mom, the housekeeper, and is like, well, and the housekeeper's like, well, bring them this food down there. Like, we all were going crazy last night. Bring them this food. They must be hungry. We'll figure it out. And she's about to go down, but then Mrs. Park comes around and is like, oh, Jessica, I want you to be here for this moment to help bring the cake over to Desong because you were his teacher, blah, blah, blah. So
sure.
At that point, she didn't get to go downstairs to see that her brother is pretty much like dead on the floor. And they're bringing the cake out and everyone's outside at this point, like wishing Desong a happy birthday. Mm-hmm. And the fucking husband, it's this, his face is bloody because he's been
smashing his head on the Morse code on the lights. So his whole head is just full of blood. And think of every typical type A mother that's at like a type A other mother's young kids birthday party. Everybody's dressed in like light pastels. Yeah. And like this guy walks in looking like a goddamn horror movie. Oh yeah. And he literally comes out of the damn blue. And everyone's like, excuse you.
He has a knife, but he grabbed a knife from the kitchen.
Yeah, that's an important part.
It's terrifying.
He's all bloody, dressed in black. He walks right into the crowd. He walks right up to the daughter, Jessica, turns around, stabs her right in the fucking chest. Everyone scatters. The father races over and is like fighting with him. And the father and mother, like the housekeeper, they all like run and they're like trying to like fight him off. And then that's another juxtaposition. They're all fighting each other while all these rich people run away. And then even Mr. Park and Mrs. Park aren't helping. They're like, he's literally yelling at Mr. Kim to throw him the car keys. Like, what are you doing? Why you throw me the car keys? Like, well, you're not doing your job, basically. Yeah. And he throws him the car keys, but then Mrs. Kim is like battling with the fucking crazed husband and like falls to the ground as the keys, like, so they fall on the keys. And she gets slashed a few times. She doesn't die, but she gets slashed. And then the fucking the fucking dad, the daughter bleeds out and dies. Like he's trying to stop the bleeding, but she dies. And Mr. Kim comes over to the husband and just like basically stabs him with it's like a fucking meat roast. It had like hot dogs on it or something. Like it was like a spit roast.
He took him with like a roasting spear because he said something to him that I feel like the thing between Mr. Park and Mr. Kim, the dynamic throughout the movie, it tends it dabbles along the lines of friends / business partners / he works for me, aka like Mr. Kim works for Mr. Park, because it would there were times where Mr. Park would be so appreciative of Mr. Kim and like it would really, honestly, it would mean a lot to the both of them. Neither one of them were faking it. But the fact of the matter is that Mr. Park was much more able to turn off that switch and be like, no matter what, you still work for me. Yeah. And Mr. Kim was still hoping, he was still hoping that he would be able to get that benefit of the doubt. So when he hits him with this last remark in this scene of as if like, this is part of your job, that strikes him so deeply because he feels a little betrayed. What you see in his eyes is betrayal. And then when he sees his daughter bleeding, which he obviously nobody knows that's his daughter. Yeah. And then Mr. Park. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what happens is like the mother, so Mr. Kim, Mrs. Kim are by their daughter trying to like stop her bleeding. And Mr. Park like walks over to the dead husband, the dead body, to like lift him up to grab his car keys so they can all get out of there. And what happens is he turns the body and he immediately like smells that poor smell that he hates so bad and plugs his nose. And Mr. Kim sees this, and it's such like this man is dead.
He's so over it.
Horrible thing, and you still can't get over the fact of a poor person smelling bad. He grabs the keys. Mr. Kim grabs a knife, walks up to Mr. Park, and just stabs him in the fucking chest.
Wow.
And kills them basically, and everyone goes crazy. Even more so, they all run away. It's it's literally like a madhouse of everyone like, oh my god. And then you hear the voiceover of the son talking about, I woke up in the hospital 2 weeks later.
Okay.
And now he's woken up in the hospital, and from like crazy concussion, he lived after these like 2 big beatings of the head. Cops are like interviewing, and now the ending is very odd. Like it's very like, and then boom. Fuck. It's super interesting ending. But
there's like multiple cuts where you think it's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I watched it.
Yeah, definitely. And basically he basically explains like the cops never connected him to any of the things that happened there. Like he's still just supposed to be the tutor. They don't know where their dad is. They don't know where Mr. Kim is. They don't even know who Mr. Kim really is, sort of thing. And it's just, and the daughter died, like the daughter is dead.
Right.
And him and his mom moved back into their apartment. Like it flooded out, but they moved back because now it's like the water's gone, but they still live there.
They have to.
And and the house, like the Parks moved out of the house. It was empty for a while, but then a real estate agent conned some newcomers into moving in there. And it's like some Swedish couple, I think, some Swedish family who lives there now. What? And the son is narrating this whole thing, and he talks about how, I sometimes go up and just kind of look at the house, just to look at it.
So
and then
weird.
He's up there in the wintertime looking at the house, and he sees the light flickering.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, yeah.
And now we cut back to the scene of like the chaos, and we see that Mr. Kim like ran out and then ducked into the garage before anyone saw him, ran back into the house, and then went into the bunker and hid there. That's why no one can find him. And he's been in the bunker this whole time. And then once the Swedish family moved in, he's now like the Swedish family's ghost. He sneaks out to try to get food, and that's how he's been living.
Ew.
And then the son's speech kind of talks about how one day he's gonna buy that house so that his dad can come out and live freely.
Yeah. It's very poetic. Like the light flickers, he realizes Morse code, he figures out the message his father's sending him, and then he writes his own message.
What's the message?
He's like, I have a plan. Well, he's like, I have a plan. I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna make a ton of money, and I'm gonna buy this house. And then one day you won't hear anyone up there, and you'll know it's time that you can just come upstairs and meet us.
That sucks.
And it's all a dream. It's all a pipe dream. Because at the end of the movie, we see the shot of the window of where they live, like in the basement. It pans down, and then the son is finishing this letter, and it was just his imagination of like, that plan's never going to come to fruition, right? It's kind of like this thing, like he'll never be able to leave his station.
Not with an attitude like that.
And in my mind, that was kind of the message. It's like, it kind of shows the progress of events. He's buying the house, and the dad comes out, and they all hug him and the mom. But then at the end, it's like, that's the dream, that's his plan, but it's really not probably going to happen.
You don't know. Are you a fucking fortune teller?
Day, you don't rise to from.
Are you?
But at the end of the day, when it comes to class and social social studies, people don't rise too much above the station they're born into as much. It's kind of like it is pipe dreamy. People do,
I get
but
what
the
you're
majority
saying.
don't.
Because they have your fucking attitude, Will. Change your mindset, change your life.
But honestly, watching this movie, I just remember being like, okay. Oh, okay. Oh. 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 Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Like, that's literally
That's
the levels.
The journey.
It was just like the last
movie.
Yeah.
It was like, aw, okay. And then it just got super like climactic randomly. But every twist and turn, no matter how we describe it, I'm sure you hear this every podcast, Alenka, no matter how we describe it, you have to watch it to experience it for yourself, because it really does deserve, and it did deserve that Oscar win, because it is just so good. The acting is so good.
Yeah.
It's because like even when you watch, which I think is, I mean, look, this might be like my major kind of like, I don't know, I guess English speaking privilege going forward, but when you watch a movie in another language, it's crazy how meaningful it still is, and how spot on every movie still is, even when it's not in your language, that you can understand it so clearly, just based off of body language, based off of breath, based off of like there's small little inflections that you can kind of feel, even though you don't fully understand the language, even if you're reading subtitles. Yeah, it was like spectacular, and it totally like. And it took me it took me like maybe 20 minutes like after the movie to actually understand because I wasn't familiar with the idea of a parasite. You know, I was like, oh, parasite, it's a bug. It sounds like a bug.
It's a bug.
It's a bug. And then I was like, oh, wait, but if it looks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. Okay. But like, but I was like, oh, wait. This, exactly what you said in the beginning. It's like, oh, it comes in and switches everything out so that it works for it and it overtakes the system kind of thing that you were saying. And I was like, what?
I know.
It's so worth it.
But there's a double meaning with that title. Because what Bong Joon-ho is saying is what he like is trying to put forth is that the parasites aren't them. The parasites are the rich who kind of take the labor that they need.
Can
and they
we
don't
say
give a
parasites
shit.
Are just people though? Because can we be honest?
You really love the rich people, don't you?
I don't. I'm just looking for an equal ground here in which the poor didn't give a fuck about anybody either. The rich didn't give a fuck about anybody. No, the poor didn't give a fuck about anybody.
That's a great point. That's an absolute great point.
Yeah, but that's a systemic thing. They don't because they're so desperate that they can't help each other because we're trained to think we have to fight each other to get the rich family.
Why is it fine that they are like that because they had a poor upbringing, but them, the rich people that were like, oh, they don't know anybody any better. It's the same situation, but one's obviously off better than the other. You know what I mean? You can't look at one being evil and the other being good. You can't.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course not.
Also, what I would like to add to that is both of those opposite sides of that spectrum. I mean, this might be kind of more exclusive, I guess, to my country, but I mean, maybe to your country as well. But the poor and the rich also get the most help and benefits. So they tend to hate each other more. I don't know if you guys, it might be different. It might be different for your economic system, but there a lot of the time in our economic system, there's a huge gaping hole in the middle of our economic system. And you realize that a lot more that the poor and the rich are very much alike. And sometimes when it is like new money or old money or whatever, it interchanges a lot because it's very easy to switch. You can very easily become very newly rich and then also very easily become very newly poor from that high point of being newly rich.
Because
you know what I mean? That classism doesn't seem so far as of a distance, you know, when there are certain instances involved like this movie, you know. A lot of it also has to do with your demeanor, because even look at how the mom acted towards the woman in the bunker. That's such a pivotal scene for me. Saying. Because her being in that scene, her being in that environment made her feel above her own kind.
Which it's not the money.
Is
it is not the money that's evil. It's the people.
It's the person.
It's the people. Money's just literally
that's definitely
money
not
doesn't
what the
exist.
movie, I don't think, is trying to show. But like in my opinion, I don't think that's what the movie is trying to show. But
no, it's definitely trying to. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely talking about.
It's not
like
the people.
classism.
I think it's
for sure.
The thing is, like, it's not the money, it's the people. But like the thing is, there's a system, and in there's a system of the majority.
But that's based off how you've been brought up, right? And that's, let's get real deep. It's all about your inner
money
work.
Affects that. Trust me.
Realizing
money affects that.
Absolutely.
It's great to say like kumbaya, we're all the same, but when the fact that is some people who don't have money die because of that, and people who do have money don't die because they have too much money. Yeah. That's not why they die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
No. That's straight facts. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But in
that's
of course, the perfect world is you would actualize, or you'd realize that like the money doesn't matter either way if you have it or you're not. Obviously, you have better opportunity and you can do more with money, which is why everybody wants it, right?
Yeah. Well, on that note,
money solves problems.
Yeah. On that note, I was going to say vote, but when this comes out, I'm either going to be like, congratulations, or I'm very, very sorry about your situation, or hope it turns out the way you want it to, because you might not even know by next week. So,
honestly, it's. Oh, are you? I don't. When is your election,
tomorrow?
Guys?
Voting, yeah.
Oh, long time.
Oh, for you too?
No, we have no election.
For them. Voting's tomorrow for you guys, yeah?
For them.
Voting is tomorrow.
I was going to say to our American listeners, if we have them.
Honestly, I mean, I hope you will. I hope you will after this. I'm sure, like, my friends are, when I tell you I'm not the only one, admirable of the way that you Canadians are handling your situations right now.
Interesting.
It's like, I very much appreciate your well wishes. But I will say, am I scared? Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff happening that is, I see with people very close to me. This propaganda has taken over their mind, and I'm somebody who was raised very conservative. I was raised very, I don't know how to I don't know if you guys, I don't want to assume that you guys know what I'm talking about, because that would kind of seem a little narcissistic. So I was raised very on, in my opinion, on the wrong side of things. Okay. So I was raised very conservative, very AKA Republican. However, I don't necessarily, like, a lot of people my age don't go with the idea of the two-party system. And this right now is a very pivotal time in our country, and it feels scary. So it's like, when this comes out, I just want to say, I hope everyone is safe, and I hope everybody is all right, and I hope everybody is healthy, and whoever wins, what matters most is that the majority of our country is in good health and in good prosperities. So whether the person that is winning or will win is your man or whoever else's man, please keep the peace. Whose man's is this?
Whose man's is this?
I tried to keep that. I tried to keep that as short and sweet and censored as possible.
That was perfect.
Wow.
That was tough for a second. Thank you. I tried. That was tough for a second. But I hope everybody has their love, their health, and their hope intact. Meditate, please.
Meditate. Yeah.
Perfect.
End of the day, meditate.
Put your manifestations out into the universe, okay?
Yeah.
For all our Canadian listeners and American listeners, where can they find... if they drive Benzes, I don't like them. No.
It's true. He's all about that.
The distaste for Benzes.
Oh, I totally forgot. I'm skipping things.
Talk to me.
Last thing. Alenka.
Huh? Oh. Why?
How much
Oh no.
How much
Ramdons?
peach fuzz? No, actually, how much awkward nipple rubbing do you give this movie?
Okay, I give 2 motions to this clockwise and 12 motions counterclockwise for an even 14. And 14 divisible by 2 is I don't fucking know, 7, which is an angel number, I'm sure, which means prosperity to those.
What?
Got him.
It's lucky.
How'd you fucking do that shit?
I don't know. I just talk
This
and
was the
make shit up
quickest
because I'm
angel
a
math
fucking
I've ever
con
heard.
artist, boy.
She's a parasite. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding.
That sounded like a perfume, like Parasite. I like
Tom Ford.
Yeah. So
now,
Kylie Jenner.
it's not whispered. It's just really loud in your ear.
Hi, I'm Kylie Jenner. Parasite. Oh gosh, was that rough? I'm so sorry.
now
Perfume.
we've made it to the part where I say, Diana, where can our listeners and new listeners listen to you?
Follow you.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So you can follow me on Instagram at d.bidea, which is d.bidea. My name is Diana Bidèa. You can find all of my music on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, any basically like music listening streaming site that you can. I also do my own podcast called Coffee Talk, which yes, it's brand new. It will be released within the next couple of weeks. We just filmed a few episodes for it.
Look out for that.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and I also do I own an entertainment company called Frontline Entertainment. So we do this thing called the Tunnel Series, where unsigned or unknown artists play their music in a acoustic tunnel near my apartment, and they get to let their raw talent kind of flourish. So. Yeah. Yes.
Fantastic. That's great.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate it. Yes. I'm so happy to be here. This was so much fun. I'm drunk, in case you're wondering. I have to pee so bad. Like I have to pee like so bad.
Wait, well, I'll
piss.
go real quick. Before you piss, follow Haven't Seen a Podcast. You can follow us at Haven't Seen a Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and at haven't_seen_it on Twitter. As I already said that. You can also find us on YouTube. We have a YouTube page and our website, haven'tseenapodcast.com. There you find the entire list of movies Lenka hasn't seen, as well as all our episodes and pictures and whatnot. Leave us a review. Leave us a review if you can. Diana has left the building at this point, but if you haven't left yet, leave us a review on iTunes and Facebook. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, you guys. And on that note, fucking go into the cellar and live there for several years in a rich person's basement and just mooch, motherfucker.